So, magpapatuloy po tayo sa ating pag-aaral ng Haysod. So, lagi pong inuulit, Haysod is the study of the foundation of our faith. And we were going to look at the Torah in the eyes of the Hebrew, meaning in the Hebrew context, not in our context as Christian or Gentile, but in the context of Israel dahil ang sumulat po ng Bible ay Israel. So, sinulat nito, so the Bible was written in their own context. So, basahin po natin itong Romans chapter 7 according to Apostle Paul. Dahil ang sinasabi po palagi, ang mga Kristiyano daw po ay malaya na sa pagsunod sa kautusan. Tayo daw inirelease na, sabi ni Pablo. So, ito po ang ating sasagutin ngayon. Tayo nga ba'y pinalaya ni Apostol Pablo sa pagsunod sa kautusan ng Panginoon? So, let's read. Romans 7. Surely you know, brothers, for I am speaking to those who understand Torah, that the Torah has authority over a person only so long as he lives. For example, a married woman is bound by Torah to her husband while he is alive. But if the husband dies, she is released from the part of the Torah that deals with husbands. Therefore, while the husband is alive, she will be called an adulteress if she marries another man. But if the husband dies, she is free from that part of the Torah, so that if she marries another man, she is not an adulteress. Ito po yung misinterpretation dahil ang sinasabi po dito ay ng marami ay na-release na tayo sa Torah. Pero ang si Pablo po ay hindi po yun ang ibig niya sabihin dito. Kaya ang sabi niya, I'm speaking for those who understand Torah. Kaya kung hindi mo naiintindihan Torah, sigurado mali ang pagkaintindi mo rito. Sabi niya, nagsasalita siya doon sa nakakaintindi ng Torah, sabi niya. So, sabi ni Pablo, certain laws of the Torah that is pertain to a person only while they are alive. No? Kung doon sa buhay pa, like for example, in the Torah of marriage, ginamit niya po itong illustration para sabihin ng isang babae ay malaya na siya sa kanyang husband, pwede na siya uling magpakasal uli kung namatay na siya. Okay? Ito ang sinasabi po dito ni Pablo. Ngayon, kung siya ay mag-asawa, nang siya ay buhay pa ang kanyang asawa, kahit sino sa kanila, kay babae, lalaki, ay ma-charge sila ng adultery. Ito po yung kasalanan dahil hindi pa namamatay. So, ibig sabihin, nakakalaya lang ang isang partner pag namatay na yung kanyang husband or kanyang wife. So, if the laws of marriage apply, no? So, sabi niya, if the husband dies, then the woman is free to marry another man. So, it is not the Torah that dies. Isipin. Kasi ang iniisip nila, namatay ang Torah. No? Ang sinasabi ni Pablo, certain part of the Torah. No? But the husband, sabi niya, that the husband that dies. So, the Torah remains in place, for it is the Torah that allows the woman to remarry after the husband's death. Because of the death of the husband, the Torah allows the wife to remarry. So maliwanag po ito, no? So it is a specific law that no longer applies after the death of the husband, but not the Torah as a whole. Hindi po talaga Torah ang tinutukoy dito. Yung application ng Torah. So, verse 4, sabihin ko po, babasahin. Therefore, my brethren, you also were made to die to the Torah through the body of Messiah, so that you might be joined to another, to him, who was raised from the dead, in order that we might bear fruit for God. Ano pong ibig sabihin ni Pablo dito? Tuloy muna natin sa 5. For while we were in the flesh, the sinful passions, which were aroused by the Torah, were at work in the members of our body to bear fruit for death. But now, verse 5, but now we have been released from the Torah, having died to that by which we were bound, so that we serve in newness of the Spirit and not in oldness of the letter. So dito, ini-interpret na lang ng iba. Wala na pala, release na pala sa Torah. Yung ba ang sinasabi? So, maliwanag po ang sinasabi ni Pablo, I'm speaking to those who understand the Torah. So, maliwanag po, no? Kung hindi nyo alam ang Torah, do not try to interpret these passages, no? So, what is ang pong application? Ito po yung metaphor ni Pablo. So, in Apostle Paul application of marriage, metaphor, the believer is the one who has died, not the Torah. So, the believer has died in the Messiah and risen to a new life. So, ang ibig sabihin ni Pablo, ang isang mananampalataya, ay namatay na. Namatay na sa kanyang kasalanan. Alam niya na siya ay, because of his sin, dahil sa kasalanan, siya ay patay. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, hindi niya mamatay ang Torah. Yung isang believer, ang tinutukoy po ni Apostle Paul dito. So, sabi dito, before salvation, the unbeliever is bound to sin. Kaya, kamatayan. So, both the penalty of sin and to its rule in one's life. But after gaining your salvation in Messiah, the believer is freed from the condemnation of the Torah against sin, as well as from the bondage of sin itself. So, ano ibig sabihin? Namatay ka eh. Oh. Kung namatay ka sa Messiah, meron ka pa bang condemnation? Wala na. The Torah has no power to condemn you because you died in the Messiah. Paano ka pang i-condemn ng Torah? Ay, namatay ka na nga. Kaya ang sinasabi ni Pablo, namatay ka na, kasama mo ang Panginoon. So wala nang condemnation. Pero hindi pa hindi tatapos ang Torah. Yun ang goal ng Torah, para buhayin ka nga niya. Dahil namatay ka doon sa condemnation. What is the function of the Torah apart from the work of the Spirit? Sabi ni Paul, the Torah actually arouses sinful passion in the unbeliever. So the unbeliever might think that the Torah is means of gaining right standing before God. Yan po ang paniniwala sa Judaism na pinanggalingan ni Pablo, kaya doon siya galing. So yun ang kinukompare niya na the Torah makes you or you gain a right standing before God by the Torah. So the unbeliever might think that keeping the Torah makes him more righteous than others. At yun po pumapasok ang pride, no? And the Torah remains as letter. Kaya sabi niya, remains a letter. So the Torah remains a letter on stone, meaning it is powerless to change the heart. Why? Because wala yung spirit ng Panginoon eh. Letter lang eh. Wala yung spirit of the law. Kaya dalawa yan, the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. So nandun ka lang sa letter, makukondemn ka. But if you have the Messiah, you are in the spirit of the law. So Paul application of metaphor in chapter 7, verse 46 is the function of the Torah with the works of the Spirit. So the Torah brings true conviction of sin, sabi niya. So dahil sa Torah, alam mo ngayon, nalalaman mo ngayon na ikaw ay makasalanan. Kung hindi ka naniniwala sa Torah, wala kang kasalanan. Therefore, mahuhusgahan ka na nang wala kang kalaban-laban dahil hindi mo alam na condemn ka pala eh. Ngayon, dahil alam mo na ang Torah, nalalaman mo yung kasalanan mo, yung sinfulness. So the Torah reveals God's method of salvation. And the Torah presents God's way of righteousness for the redeemed soul. So kaya sabi niya dito sa verse 7, what shall we say then? Is the Torah sin? Might never be, sabi niya. On the contrary, I would not have come to know sin except through the Torah. For I would not have known about coveting if the Torah had not said, you shall not covet. So sa pamamagitan ng Torah, nalalaman niya ang kasalanan, pero may pinopoint ang Panginoon sa Torah. Sino yun? Para magkaroon ka ng release, magkaroon ka ng power to release in that condemnation. Kaya tutuloy natin sa 13. Therefore, did what is which is good become a cause of death for me? May it never be, sabi niya. Rather, it was sin, in order that I might be shown to be sin by affecting my death through that which is good, so that through the commandment, sin would become utterly sinful. And verse 22, for I joyfully concur with the Torah of God in inner man. So, kung hindi mo naiintindihan ang Torah, sasabihin mo nga, wala na ang Torah. Pero yung Torah mismo, ang sabi ni Pablo, bago nga po pala magpatuloy, dalawang klase ang Torah. Sa Israel, isang oral at saka written. So, ang binabanggit dito ni Pablo, yung Torah mismo, no? na ang nagsasabi sa atin na tayo ay makasalanan. No? At yun ding Torah yun, ang magtuturo sa atin kung paano tayo makalaya doon sa kasalanan. No? Kaya sabi ni Pablo, kaganda nga, Torah is good for me. So, Paul uses the metaphor of the laws of marriage to show, ano pong pinapakita ni Pablo? That death changes one's relationship to the Torah. Before one dies in Messiah, the sinner is bound to the condemnation which the Torah prescribed for sin. And after one dies in Messiah, the condemnation of the Torah against sin no longer applies. And the redeemed one is free from condemnation of the Torah. Ano po yun? Ang sinasabi lang nito, kung tatalagalugin na, sabi ni Pablo, kailang isipin mong patay ka na dahil sa kasalanan. At nabubuhay ka ngayon sa Torah. Ngayon, kung nabubuhay ka ngayon sa Messiah, there's no condemnation. Kaya, maganda na i-practice natin na isipin na tayo makasalanan, pero namatay na ako at nabubuhay ako sa Messiah. So, wala nang power ang Torah to condemn. Dahil namatay ka na eh. May power pa ba siya doon sa namatay? Ginamit nga ni Paul yung metaphor of marriage na kapag namatay na yung partner, hindi na siya ma-charge ng adultery. So, ma-charge pa ba tayo? Hindi na. Dahil namatay na tayo sa kasalanan, ngayon, dahil namatay ka na, nabubuhay ka ngayon sa Panginoon, pino kang panibagong buhay sa Kanya. So, the relationship of the believer to the Torah is now one of joyful submission. Anong ibig sabihin ng joyful submission? Since the Torah is spiritual, sabi ni Paul sa 7:14, meaning of the Spirit, its purpose in the life of God's child can only be realized by the work of the Spirit writing the Torah upon the heart. So nagbabago yung role ng Torah. The first role of the Torah is to condemn. But when you died in the Messiah, the Torah has new role. The role of the Torah is to convict you to obey. And He has no power to condemn because you died, and then the Messiah make you alive through His death. So nawawala yung power to condemn. So by the Spirit, the Torah reveals the life of righteousness for those who are in Messiah. And by the Spirit, the believer is able to live out the ways of the Torah. Bakit hindi natin kayang sundin ang Torah? Namatay na nga tayo eh. Kaya hindi mo kayang sundin ang Torah dahil buhay na buhay ka sa kasalanan. Yun ang ibig sabihin, hindi ka pa handang mamatay. Hindi mo pa nalalaman o naintindihan na ikaw ay patay sa Panginoon, sa Torah. At hindi ka handang sumunod. Pero kung tayo, na-realize natin, dahil para sa Torah, wala na pala akong buhay. So, wala na akong gagawin. Sumunod na lang ako sa Messiah. So, magagawa mo nang sumunod sa Torah. Dahil alam mong, patay ka na dahil sa kasalanan. Kaya sa Romans 10, sabi niya, Brethren, my heart's desire and my prayer to God for them is for their salvation. Referring to the Jews. For I testify about them that they have a zeal for God, meaning the Jewish people, but not in accordance with knowledge. For not knowing about God's righteousness and seeking establishment of their own. They did not subject themselves to the righteousness of God. For Messiah is the end, meaning the goal for righteousness to everyone who believe. So when Paul speaks about God's righteousness, it means God's method of making a sinner righteous. Kaya nga may Torah para malaman natin tayo makasalanan. At kaya nga may Torah para mag-submit tayo sa kanyang way of making us righteous. And how? Sabi niya, for the Messiah is the goal of the Torah. So without Messiah, Torah lang ang gagawin mo, wala ang Messiah. So ang mangyayari sa iyo, condemnation lang. Because Paul was comparing himself, not the Christian today, but to his Jewish origin of faith. Doon sa pinanggalingan niya ng kanyang pananampalataya, doon niya kinukompare yung kanyang natagpo ang bagong buhay sa Messiah. Kaya po si Apostol Pablo, ang sinasabi nito, the goal of the Torah is the Messiah, meaning yung God's way of making a sinner as righteous. And how? Paano ito? Meaning, kasi sa Jewish system of salvation, meron sila tinatawag na Jewish law. Ang tawag ni Pablo doon, man-made. Man-made. Yung meaning, pagiging self-righteous, man's way of making him righteous. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka nag-submit doon sa sasabi ng Panginoon na God's way of making us righteous. And that is to the Messiah. Kaya, kung walang Messiah, Torah lang, hindi rin mapwede. Dahil ang mangyayari, condemnation lang. So, basahin natin yung Romans 1:16. Sabi ni Pablo, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation. So, ano yung gospel na tinutukoy dito? The Torah, yung mabuting balita na nandun sa Torah. Dahil wala namang New Testament. Kasi sa Christian, kasi tinatawag na gospel itong Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Hindi po yan. Dahil wala pa niya noong time ni Paul. Ang sinasabi niyang gospel or good news of salvation, yung pinoprovide ng Diyos doon sa Torah na para maging righteous ang isang tao. And that is by the atoning of His blood. At nandiyan po yan sa Torah. So, basahin ko, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For it is in the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith. It is written, but the righteous man shall live by faith. Pag sinabing live by faith, hindi yung by faith na idea, but by obedience to God. Meaning, ang tunay na righteous ay yung sumusunod sa Diyos. Living by faith. Sa kasi Christian kasi, living by faith, idea, basta naniwala ka lang. Hindi po yun ang tinutukoy ni Pablo dito. Yung faith na emuna sa Hebrew, meaning faithful obedience. No? Hindi yung idea lang na naniniwala. So, ano po ang ibig sabihin ni Pablo dito sa sinasabi niyang, for the Messiah is the goal of the Torah. So, maliwanag po ito, na for the Messiah is not the end. Kasi sa ibang Christian Bible, kahit tingnan nyo inyong mga Bible dyan, ang katapusan, si Kristo ang katapusan ng kautusan. Sabi sabihin, pagdating kay Kristo, wala na kautusan. Yan po ang mga wrong translation na tinatawag na tinranslate po ang Bible for their own end lang. Hindi sa Diyos. Dahil yung ginamit to end, pagbalikan po yung word na end, sa Greek is telos, meaning purpose or goal. Yeshua is the goal of the Torah. Ang pinanggaling ni Pablo, Torah lang. Wala ang Messiah. Kaya sabi ni Pablo, na-miss niyo yung goal ng Torah. At yun ang Messiah. Kaya sabi niya dito he's speaking about righteousness. It means God's method of making us sinners righteous. So, kaya sa verse 4, sabi niya, it's given an explanation of all previous point that Israel, though seeking to be righteous before God, did not submit themselves to God's method of making sinners righteous. Kaya, yung word na ginamit po dito ay yung telos, no? Kaya nga, si Yeshua ang goal. Because Messiah is the goal of the Torah. The Torah constantly pointed to the end or to the need for the Messiah to attain. Kasi once na nag-aral ka ng Torah, corner ka na. Wala ka na talagang laban dyan. Hindi ka na makaka-iwas dyan. Corner ka na dyan. Pero the Torah itself provided the means so that we could be exempted or be redeemed from our sinfulness. And that is the Messiah. The Messiah is the goal of the Torah. The Messiah is the goal of the Torah for righteousness. That is, the Torah teaches about how God makes a sinner righteous. It does so by revealing Messiah Yeshua as the object of saving faith. So, kasi po sa metaphor of marriage, bakit po namatay ang Messiah? Kasi sa Mount Sinai, ang Messiah, ang Diyos pinakasalan ng Israel. Okay? Ngayon, ang Israel ay naging unfaithful sa Panginoon by worshiping other God. At dahil doon, kaya ang Israel pinalaya sa Promised Land, yung ancient Israel. At dahil very normal sa ancient, yung mag-asawa, kapag nahuli mong nangangalo niya, pwede mong palayasan sa iyong bahay. That is exactly what happened to Israel. Kaya pinalaya sila sa Promised Land. Now, bawal sa Torah na pakasalan mo yung nakalagay sa Torah na sa Deuteronomy chapter 4, bawal pakasalan ng isang babaeng hiniwalayan na. Pinagbabawal po yan sa Torah. Dahil mahal lang pa kayo ng Israel, hindi siya pwedeng humanap ng iba. Ay pero bawal sa Torah na pakasalan mo yung babaeng asawa mo dati na naging adulterous. That's the only way na pwedeng pakasalan ng Panginoon ang Israel. Uli, kailangan niya mamatay. So nabalo ang Israel nang mamatay ang Messiah, kaya pagbabalik niya, pwede niyang pakasalan uli ang Israel. Just to follow what the Torah said in Deuteronomy chapter 4. Kasi sabi doon, 23 ba? Ano bang verse yun sa Bible na Deuteronomy? 24, yes, 24. Na yung dinivorce mong asawa ay pwede mong i-divorce. Kung kasi yun ang nakalagay sa Torah, pinapayagan, pero hindi mo na pwede uling balikan. Kasi ang nangyayari po noon, nung unang panahon, kapag gusto pang mag-asawa ng lalaki, ang gagawin niya, i-divorce lang yung asawa. So, yun ang nangyayari. Kaya ang sabi ng Panginoon, gumawa siya ng batas na, pag divorce mo na, kasi ang ginagawa niya, kapag na-divorce na nila, at hindi sila na kontento doon sa kanyang pangalawang asawa, babalikan niya uli yung una. At sabi ni Lord, hindi mo na pwedeng balikan yan. That is abomination. Dahil doon sa batas na yon, hindi na niya mabalikan ng Israel. Kaya ang kinakailangang mamatay siya, kaya siya namatay sa cross, para i-redeem ang Israel. Of course, para maging legally qualified na siya na uli pakasalan ng Israel. Shabbat Shalom po, ayan po ang ating topic ngayon na hindi po totoo na tayo release na sa Torah. Na-release tayo sa kasalanan at nabubuhay tayo sa Messiah. Kaya we can obey the Torah. Namatay tayo, hindi po namatay ang Torah, ang namatay yung believer. At tayo ay malaya na dahil wala na tayong condemnation kung namatay ka. At paano ba namatay? Ibig sabihin, nag-disobey ka doon, kaya ka namatay eh. Ba't ka nabuhay? Because of the Messiah. And then you turn now to obey. Yun po ang pagkakaiba na yan. Kaya hindi po totoo na wala na ang Torah. Hindi rin po totoo na hindi pwede nating baliwalayin ang Sabat. Eh kung ikaw ay namatay na sa Messiah, at Espiritu na ang sumusunod sa iyo, bakit ayaw mo sumunod sa Torah? Bakit ayaw mo sumunod sa Sabat? May problema. Mukhang hindi ka talagang namatay sa sarili mo, kundi yung flesh pa rin ang nasa iyo. Kung Spirit na nabubuhay ka sa pangunguna ng Espiritu Santo ng Diyos, definitely, you will follow the Messiah.